Hey guys, what's up? We're here. Let me just check to see. 22% for Pisces is enough. Alright. Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to get on and chat a bit here. We got some messages rolling through. As per the last community post, this is part 4. Oh, we had 3 Astro Chats today. We're so... Yeah, so let's put it on the right side body entirely. Thanks guys for connecting. Here to you. Now, what's going down? I feel like, well, the Sagittarius weekly reading was so interesting, truly. Very interesting energies that were coming through there, and Spirit wanted that apparently on the main channel. So we're gonna have another bonus for Sagittarius posting for their weekly in 48 hours. At some point. This is a crazy spurt right before we have Mars go retro, so we head into Scorpio season. Now, I feel like some of you here, the elevation is, it's not even funny. It's to the point where some of you here, you know, you've released situations, karma, paradigms, patterns that, you know, it's to the point where, let's give an example. Let's say that you even broke up with someone, or let's say that you just totally stepped away from a job, an industry, you sold off a property. It's like, you know, let's say at a certain point, you know, it was a matter of the negotiation. And it's like, once you separate and have distance, and this came through really heavily in today's chats. Hey Gigi, welcome. Hey everybody, welcome to the chat. Hi guys. Hey. And Isaac. And then it's like, you have time to just like separate, and then I see like at a certain point, you know, this energy will circle back. And after step 4, I'm awake. Aww, Isaac. Harold. So yeah, I feel like some of you, like, you may hear back from someone, but it's gonna be so sobering. Like, it's one of those moments where like you just see everything zoomed out, like, in perspective. I'm hearing Fozzie. F-A-Z-Z-I. Fuzzy. It's like, oh no, hold on. It's like, I see you kind of, you're not as enthusiastic about something from the past. But it's because, you know, but the irony is that I see a dinosaur here. It's like, whoever this is still gauging based on the prior paradigm. They're still thinking, you know, well, yeah, I just gotta like convince her that this is the way to do it. It's like, she's realizing now, not what will, it's not about reunion. It's about what really wasn't it. And love and light, but no, and love and light, but this is not even. It's not applicable. It's like N-A in a case like this. For, you know, in a case like this, like, we're not flirting with you anymore. Some of you maybe, you know, I don't know. This is a very particular message now. I'm hearing EO. For some of you, this is something financial. It always works out that way, doesn't it? When you elevate up and out of the conversation, then it circles back. That means it wasn't meant for you. Okay, because if it was really in alignment, it would happen very, very easily, and it would happen the first time around. Okay, nothing is like random. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing is like, shoot, fuck. It's like, I just barely missed Clay Calloway. It's like, I was about to marry the dude. It's like, do you see the monstrosity that has become of his reputation? It's like, you know, well, separate, and then you'll see it then. Because sometimes we're too upfront, close, and personal with someone who we think, or a situation that we think is truly what we want, but there's a hell of a lot of projected energy there, and it's not coming from your higher self. So yeah, we see things really for what they are when we take time away from them. And so that's where it's very important when we talk about this time and time again. When you separate from someone, you can tell immediately, okay, if there is a healthy energy space of connection between you and that person based on, yeah, how you feel when you separate. Are you feeling like you have no more air? Okay, that song, what is it, Jordan Sparks? No air. Do you really feel that? I mean, do you feel like you're about to just like, I'm melting? It's like, yeah, let's remember that was the Wicked Witch of the West. So, you know, what part of you is melting down in that interaction? I mean, why do you feel you really love this person as well? what is it that really, I mean, what is love? Is love sitting there feeling totally disempowered? Some of you, I'm hearing like crying on the floor, missing this person. No, I mean, there's nothing to miss. You don't miss love, right? You made the flight. You made the flight to reincarnate here, right? And think about how so-called crazy that is. You think you would miss the flight to love when you're already incarnated? No. You're here because of love. So there's no like, yeah, and that sometimes is, and the moment I understand it can be very challenging. It's like, no, but he was the one. It's like, there's no the one. Okay, there's the one that sometimes you forget, and it's the one that you always are, you've always been, and you came here as that person, right, in 3D, but you're not even that person, okay, as you see it in 3D on other dimensions and planes. So this is, a really complicated reality, and you have to remember that it is complicated sometimes, right? If you feel guided, I mean, maybe it's your life path to forget, and maybe it's your life path and the calling to just, and that's where we don't feel bad as well for others who don't elevate. It's like, it's all part of the conversation. So now let's continue. For some of you though, sometimes it can be very, very challenging. It's like, we really believe in the matrix. We really believe in, the surrounding to the story. We really start to fall in love with, the frame, and it's like we forget about the portrait itself and what we're really here to create and why we're creating it, right? So sometimes, and that's a great, point to remember when you are in those moments where you're feeling very emotional about someone, or and they're just like kind of drawing you and dragging you across the stage of your own life. It's like, to remember that concept right there. If that person is creating that sort of so-called havoc in your life at that moment in time, okay, not to say that it's wrong or bad, but every experience is, again, meaningful, and it is, I believe it has already been scripted. Is that really you? Is it really you? Is that, or what is happening? Yeah, so let's back it up for the sake of the root. Or is that pointing to an imbalanced conversation that was happening all along? And now that you have a separation, there is something that you detach from, which is an authenticity, okay, of character, really, right? Because you and your prime source, you are not codependent. When you incarnate, you're not codependent. You're a free spirit and being. In the 3D, we do have these sort of the ways in which we interact with the dimension that is in relation to ego. So you can obviously, it's not about having no ego, otherwise we wouldn't be here on this plane, right? But it's about, getting the ego in check, basically, more or less. And so, in somewhat, let's start, in some ways. So there is something that you will experience, from time to time when it comes to checking in with the ego. And that's what soulmates are. That's in some soulmate contracts, they're going to really point out where, you may have a really unhealthy attachment to a certain aspect of you. When we connect to people, we're not connecting to just people, right? We have to really zoom it out. We got to elevate out of this conversation point right here, okay? And really kind of just, we're not here for the Matrix love story. It is, unless you believe you are. And that is up to you, right? You can believe anything you want. That's the beauty of the three-dimensional, right, reality space. But there is, this moment where it's just like, you have to remember that you are you, okay? You are you, and you are here because of you. And so I always say this when people, like, complain about something that's going on in their story, or, like, getting too zoomed into a certain relationship, or however, we could all have these moments, okay? But in the more elevated perspective space, and perception field, I usually say this is, when you incarnated, did you incarnate for this very moment? No. So it's never going to be the most important thing. And so it's up to you though to perceive. Maybe it's, your destiny to be at the foot of this conversation, which you may actually know you don't resonate with, but then somehow you feel completely at the mercy of it. And so that's shadow work, right? You got to do your shadow work if you are in the dark night of the soul. For some, though, this is entity. So there's a lot of, obviously, a lot of, this past life energy as well. There's a lot of very dense energy that is not yours. And as an empath, you can easily pick up on these frequencies. Now, some of you, you're dealing with someone who doesn't let you go. This person I mean, is a green-eyed frog? Oh my. Even their eyes are green? Okay, so, what's this song? Blue. Everything is blue. Yeah, so, in this case it's green, and so, some of you knew this from the start. You really saw this from the start. Somebody here is very hairy. That could be a very good message of what this is. Let's back up here in the throat chakra. It's like you feel like this person won't let you go. Now, I see this person returning, but I see them coming from a different dimension, which makes it kind of easier because then you just kind of see it zoomed out. You see it from a different perspective. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I don't talk like that anymore. I don't play that game anymore. So you bring in your little piece on the chessboard is just giving me context for the decisions that I make now in a totally different board game, okay? Which I play with myself. If I'm going to play a game, it's going to be with myself. I'm not going to let anybody tell me how long I'm going to wait as well to make my own next move. You heard? Yeah. So for some of you, no. You're ending this whole, let me just stand here by the lamplight on the corner of the street and wait for my love of my life. No, ew. Let's clear the energy. It's past life energy that you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves to wait for love. You heard that? We got to really reiterate. Spirit wants to emphasize, nobody is here to wait for love. You are love. And if anything, it is a matter, okay, the whole reunion, this is a matter of elevating that space where you already are in that love story, right? And when you're there, perceptively, right, energetically, you align vibrationally, that's what creates the reality around you. So this is a matter of releasing and detaching from the need to reflect love and no, but they're very special to me, and like, no, I swear we have a connection. It's like you connect, right? But what allows you to connect to another? You. Otherwise, you just be that person. You're not just that person, though. Even if you have a very strong connection. Otherwise, it's like, why wouldn't that person just be alone in their life? If you were nothing to that person, I hear it like this, really. It's just like that. So for some of you, you feel kind of like at the mercy of somebody in a relationship here, or you did, possibly. And it's to the point where you have to just, again, zoom out and realize you are your own person, you have your own story, and yeah, I'm getting that some of you, this is a situation where somebody is an entity, and they're in a full possession, guys. Especially if there's drugs involved. This person is not aware of their energy field, and it's completely irresponsible frequently, okay? Speaking, it's not something that is, looking really fancy, okay? And that doesn't mean, this person could be wealthy, they could be this or that, but they could have entities, so this is what you'll know is it doesn't feel good, okay? You don't feel good around this person. You don't feel supported. You don't feel that the relationship is supported. All this weird shit's happening, all this, these things that would never happen, okay, they just sort of, suddenly start happening, this is the clue, and that's where you have to be living, really realizing that we're in the quantum field and nothing is random, okay, it's like, suddenly, like, when I want to hang out with Zorro, okay, my cape falls off. It's like, well, that's a clue for you, okay? That this person is, that's the energy. So let's go. Your guides are not, your guides are going to not be shy as well about, they're not going to fuck around as well when it comes to who you connect to. So sometimes you think, wow, it's like, this was perfect. Why isn't it working out? Please. Okay, if you're drawn to this channel, Querent Lightworker, we're talking, you are very guided. So it's like you have guides who are watching over your every move, especially in terms of your romance. So that's something to keep in mind, right? It's never going to be random who you connect with. If you separate from someone, someone's looking out for you, right? So this is a matter of reuniting with your Empress energy, remembering that you are loved and you are loved where it counts. Okay? Yeah. In this paradigm, we meet people who don't appreciate aspects of our ego, okay, story. And that's the only thing they're connecting to, because if they're connecting to the true source, they're really going to appreciate you. They're going to know who you are, and they will appreciate you as you come, as you've been. And that's the truth of it. That's the real truth. But you're going to meet people, and it's up to you. This is the point that it's your decision to participate in the matrix interaction and to believe in the matrixy, oh, he doesn't like this about me, or I guess it wasn't that good enough for them, or I guess that wasn't really, like what I should have done. But none of that is really the story, but you can believe that it is. That's where you gotta, make your decision in terms of your elevation. It's always a decision. Nobody can push you into elevation, and usually if you're interacting with a pretty dense, matrixy paradigm space, then of consciousness and of thought, then you are not going to be, the one who's pushed into elevation. Usually you're going to have to do that hard ass shadow work to pull yourself out of that discussion, because it's a discussion, and I mean, who's going to tell anybody that you stop any discussion? You can continue talking, you continue having the discussion until you decide to take action and stop the cycle. No one is going to stop you, though, in that space. So are you addicted to the matrix? That's another conversation. In that case, I would do a cleanse. I would do a full body detox, but I would obviously, first of all, talk to your personal practitioner and make sure that you are, taking that on in a logical way as well. Make sure that you're talking to, again, doctor, naturopath, personal practitioner, so that, okay, you make sure you're not allergic to certain things and your body can handle it. Make sure you're not low glycemic if you're going to be doing it, etc. So anyways, but that's the download. That's a real deal. That's what it really comes down to. But you can, this is like Spirit saying that's how you pass the test, but you don't have to pass, right? So it's up to you, and you will gauge it. Some people, they want to be in that vibe. Maybe, you're surrounded, there's someone you're talking to, it's like they don't get it. They just don't get it. And like, personally, okay, let's back it up with pressure. Personally, I have recently just kind of let go of the backpack strap. Okay, with certain conversations, it's like I'm not triggered anymore. It's like, you know what, you're not going to elevate, and that's that. Okay, yeah, do I care? Yeah, but at a certain point, me caring so much about where you're headed to is me not caring about me. Because why is it that I'm caring about you for you? That's what it starts to feel like. And that's where you have to realize, what situation is truly in alignment with you. Not just as like, maybe I could stay grounded, but what is really in my reality? And it sounds harsh, but it's the reality, because it's your perspective. Do I perceptively see that this is something that is worthwhile for me? Maybe it literally is. Maybe it's financially feasible. Maybe it makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's something that could actually help me out down the line. But none of that really, that's chitter chatter. Okay, that is the chitter chatter of the matrix, right? This whole, we got to make money to like then start our business and our passions. That's the totally bullshit, okay, tagline of the matrix. You don't need. That is acknowledging that you are in lack, and you're not in lack unless you believe that you are, right? It's like, so the currency is your consciousness, and how much of it you acknowledge and you hold intact from your point of reincarnation. This is how I see it. This is how I'm seeing it from Spirit very clearly right now. They want to just kind of make it very clear like that. So it's time to like get out of this like soupy emotional. Okay, it doesn't mean that emotions are bad. It means that you have them integrated into the rest of your consciousness. We're not only our heart space. You can have 8 planets, okay, in Pisces. You're not going to only be water energy, though. In this dimension, we come, and that is the grand illusion, Oh, I'm born in sun in Libra season. I'm a Libra. Okay? No. You have, at the time of your birth, okay, we're not the astrological narcissist, right? You have all constellations present at the time of your birth. They don't disappear just because the sun is in the archetype of Libra. That means that you have a lot of Libra, sure, but you're not only Libra. So this is where you have to like kind of just zoom out and see it. I'm hearing in patterns and in waves. Nothing is compartmentalized. Energy is fluid. It continues, and everybody is in that space of consciousness, but we choose differently how to observe how it is that we have observed already our consciousness. So this is something that you can't really have also a discussion about. It's just something that you do. You either do it, and some people are going to linger. No, I'm not ready to elevate, bro. Like, oh, one more mimosa. You're going to take it as you will. You're going to take it as you will. And it's, we don't feel bad for people, okay, because it's a decision, right? If we feel bad for people, then we're acknowledging that there is lack, that there's not lack. Okay, there is a question of the decision to side with faith over fear, right? So do you choose light or do you choose dark? It's a decision. Anything but that is just stalling on the keyboard, okay, and not typing. It's just a ... So some people, they that's how they chill in life. They do a ... Some people, they decide, they choose their words and they choose them with discretion, and they know who they're talking to, and they make sure that they don't talk to certain people as well, and they make those boundaries known. So for some of you here, you are going to be, I'm hearing, rewarded from Spirit for making a decision, period. Those who are lingering and, I don't know yet, it's like, that's not true, but, yeah. yeah. I would really meditate. What makes me feel like I don't know. And usually you want to do a detox. Again, cleanse the body. Can you fast for a day or two? Talk to your doctor. See if it's feasible for you and if you feel in alignment with that. Because, bacteria is consciousness. So that's how you really can sort of reset the system sometimes. But it's a general video. Let's clear. And if it's not meant, it's not meant. So anyways. Karma, so, yeah. If it's meant for you to transcend certain karmas, like maybe it's not meant for you. Maybe, So let's clear. Maybe it's, it could, there are deviations in how, and don't get upset if somebody is not willing to clear karma around you. It could be very annoying, but it's never going to be something that you could have done something about. No. There's none of that. Because again, it's not like, oh, you only can make a decision. No, everyone is here making a free will decision to choose light or to choose shadow. And anything but that, and feeling bad for someone in that, oh, they're not choosing light. That's like not fair, right? Because then you're seeing them as a victim, and they're not a victim. They are a decision maker, and even the ... is a decision in and of itself. And that's where Spirit has no mercy. They have no patience anymore, especially as we move into the higher dimensions. It's not mean. It's not, it's empowering, because it's putting you in that position to also hold responsibility and to remember and recall that you are a decision maker. That's why you're here in 3D. Okay, you are here because you're powerful enough to hold consciousness in that space of acknowledging the space of decision. So this is something that not a lot of people are going to understand, obviously, though, right? Sometimes we may also forget, right? But it doesn't mean that, that it cannot be reacquainted with as a concept that can really help you in your story, especially, when you're encountering people who are not making decisions and they're just fucking around in their life and they're not really elevating. And, this is where we have to take a step back and say, no, helping you means me stepping back and helping myself, because that's the reflection point. Right? When we are sitting there like, I feel bad for Sergio, he's not it's like, then that's a reflection of how we also may see ourselves, right? Because we're all one. If you're seeing Sergio as a victim and you're feeling like Sergio doesn't have the strength to persevere, then you're seeing yourself as a victim as well, because as above so below, we cannot have that one conversation. So it's a power in the recollection of the power that has been. It's like we say, oh no, secondary is that we're spiritual. No. First, it's my mission to, incarnate in 3D, and then, but I'm spiritual. No. Like, you are spiritual and you incarnate because of that power to reincarnate. You see? So, it's just a reorganization of your memory, basically. The connecting to your higher self. So it's something that requires a lot of clearing, though, because there's a lot of white noise on 3D. So as we move into these stages, there are going to be a lot of people who are feeling very confused in the Matrix, but they made the decision. So you guys will see in the next videos, Love and Light. Let's back it up, clear the throat chakra. It's something that a lot of people are going to be confused, and I see a lot of people returning. But it's something that you have given a clear indication of what I'm